Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day, everyone. So we meet again the second part of week 2 lectures, and that is on instructional systems design. Okay, if I were to ask you a question, is there a better way for us to do some training session? If let's say you like to carry out a training session, what would be the best way for you to carry out a training session? So what we are going to look at today is one of the platforms, I should say online platforms, that you can actually utilize in order to conduct an online training session. Now, when we talk about the traditional elements of any training session or teaching and learning session, it involves instructors, and then we also have learners, textbooks, and where teaching is getting content from the text into the heads of the learners. That is the traditional way, of the pedagogy and andragogy. Now, instructional system design, it is defined as an organized procedure that includes steps of analyzing, designing, developing, implementing, and evaluating instruction to improve the quality and effectiveness of instruction and to enhance learning. So these are the steps that are involved in ISD. So instructional system design, the short form is ISD. Now, these are the steps, and when we utilize these steps, we can actually come up with a module that can actually help us, not only to train someone, or to accommodate the training session or the teaching and learning session, but also to improve these two. Now, instructional design, on the other hand, it means a systematic approach or process that is employed to develop education and training programs in a consistent and reliable fashion. Now, how can a system approach improve instruction? Now, let us look here. A process that allows you to look at number one, the learners, and number two, the instructors. The third one, the instructional materials. Fourth is the learning environment. So the goal of the so-called instruction design, ISD or ID, is to basically to bring about increased in learning. Now, these are the few major questions. Where are we going? How we will get there? And how we will know when we have arrived. So the characteristics of an ISD or an ID is goal directed. So what is basically that you wish to accomplish? I give an example. If I were to teach students on listening and listening only, and if I wish to come up with an online training session, of course I have to, develop that system based on the characteristics or elements that I've mentioned just now. But then again, before doing that, I must first establish what would be the goals. Because when you have goals, and those goals will be your end game, meaning to say it will be at the end of the journey. So by the end of your so-called training, your students or your trainees should be able to achieve whatever goals that you have set for that particular training. All right. Next is interdependence of each step in the process, and it is a closed system. So these are some of the elements that you can look at. And also this is this taxonomy of ISD and ID models. What are the advantages of an ISD or an ID? Number one, it increases and enhances the possibility of learning. Now, let us just take the MCO situation or the COVID-19 situation as an example. Now, imagine that if we were to continue the traditional way of delivering knowledge, I'm pretty sure that it has been, I think, more than 6 months of this MCO, and because of these uncertainties, sometimes some areas are affected by PKPD, some areas are affected by PKPD. Imagine that if we were to have the traditional way of delivering knowledge, I'm pretty sure every now and then the process will be hindered, or the process will be disturbed by the current situation. But then again, if you are able to actually come up with a system or a training session that suits with any kind of condition, so it helps you to actually deliver knowledge effectively. So ISD and ID is one of the platforms that you can actually explore. Makes the acquisition of knowledge and skill more efficient, effective, and appealing. It encourages the engagement of learners so that they learn faster and gain deeper levels of understanding.